William,
Yes,
I need everyone, and I mean all hands on deck for this. Okay, I need everyone to leave a comment and wish my friend Will a happy birthday here. It's his birthday
you
today.
dirty dog.
It's his
You
birthday.
dirty. You dirty dog.
Not a day over 24, right? Not a day, not a
Right.
single day over 24.
Correct.
I know that's not true. If I'm being honest, I thought you were 24 when I first met you. So that was a long time ago. So I can't even imagine. Well, if you want to put the number out there, we can. I don't know. I know a gentleman never tells his age.
That's right.
I've got a ballpark idea, but I'm not going to throw it out there and be wrong. I don't.
Does it involve 60s?
No, it's a realistic number. I just don't want to do it. I just don't want. I'm not going to put it out there like that. But happy birthday, Will! Everyone, leave him a comment. HBD, happy birthday, Will! Do something. Subscribe if you're new. I think that's a good birthday present from YouTubers. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. But well, what are we talking today?
Hey, listen. Detroit Lions football per usual. Joint practiced. Some bad news. I don't know if we want to kick off with that, but basically Detroit Lions joint practice.
It was as Dan Campbell said, this was kind of the last test for the Detroit Lions because we're putting the starters on the shelf for the preseason game. There's some guys still fighting for some roster spots. So Dan Campbell in his press conference before they took the field today was kind of hinting that this is the last chance for some guys to crack this roster.
Steve,
William,
I feel like this, man. I'm happy that guys finished on a good note, but my worst nightmare happened today with Graham Glasgow.
Yeah, another injury. We don't know the details. We'll probably hear something tomorrow morning.
If you guys really want to put something in the comments for me, put it in the comments. Prayers up for Graham Glasgow to be okay and it just be a scare. But I did have a friend of mine at practice today. Shout out to youth coach with me, Sergio Ramirez. He was at training camp practice and he did say it looked bad. So.
Yeah, from everyone I've seen on Twitter, all the writers, they didn't say it looked bad. They just all kind of said the same thing, being attended to by trainers, lower body / leg injury. I don't know if they had to use the cart. Did he say anything about a cart coming out, or did he get?
He didn't say anything about the cart, but I didn't ask. He just said it looked bad. I didn't ask for any more details because, to be honest, I was just hoping for the best, and I didn't want to hear more bad news.
Yeah, I can't take bad news. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning. We'll talk about some contingency plans tomorrow if we have to. Hopefully, it's nothing like that. But let's just assume maybe Graham's going to miss a couple games in the regular season. But hey, if we start seeing Tate Ratledge playing some center and getting some more reps there, that might be something to look into. And then we'll get into the guard position on who's going to take Tate's job. So there's a lot of different things to dive into, but we can't get into that until we have some more information. So I'm sure Dan will have a press conference tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. like he usually does. And we'll probably get updated there, or maybe something gets leaked tonight. But I know with injury stuff, it's usually by the coaches. They usually keep the injury stuff closer to the vest. So we'll just have to wait and see. But we'll joint practice with the Houston Texans today. The Houston Texans was a team last year that I picked for a Super Bowl. I said last year it was going to be Lions, Texans, Super Bowl, beginning of the year. They kind of fell off. They had some injuries too. They weren't able to withstand it like we were. But I felt like this was a back and forth type practice from everything I saw. I saw the Lions win some reps. They won some reps. So iron sharpening iron, great practice. I was looking forward to this one more than the Dolphins because I thought we might get more out of this one with Houston being a better team. So we got a couple things that stuck out to us. First and foremost, Isaac TeSlaa, or Mayotron. Sorry, I don't even know why I called him by his birth certificate name. His birth certificate name is Isaac TeSlaa. His God-given name is Mayotron. Okay, so let's just get the facts straight there. My apologies, Isaac. All right. So the kid just keeps making plays. Will just keeps making plays.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm excited for him, man. I think that it was more important for him to make the plays at joint practice than it has been throughout preseason. Today, he's facing the better competition, better secondary players than I'm sure that he has all preseason with guys like Stingley bouncing around. So I tip my hat to him, man. Hopefully we don't see him in the preseason game, though.
Speaking of Stingley, I saw JMO beat him on a deep ball today that officially looked like a touchdown until some camera guys put out some work and it didn't look like JMO got that second step or that second foot in. Not a big deal there. It's a practice. It's just nice to see that JMO got past the defense. And I guess if Houston wants to call that rep a win, I don't know. We'll call it a push, but I think it's a good thing for the Lions that we're connected on some deep passes. All right. Those little intricate things, getting a foot in bounds, tacky. We'll figure that out during the regular season. I just like to see the plays are being made right now. JMO, explosive. He's had, God, if I had to sit down and rank guys who I think have had the best preseason / training camp, JMO would be in that top 5 discussion for me as a player who had high expectations. Now there's some rookies that are over exceeding my expectations and kind of blowing things out of the water with what they're doing. But JMO's really just had a great training camp, great preseason. I know we haven't seen him in any games, but it just in all these practices and stuff, he's just making plays well. So JMO's due for a breakout year.
Steve, I was talking earlier with Coach Ramirez, and he did say this. JMO looked like the fastest guy on the field by far. Said it wasn't even any questions. He said a lot of the plays that were made were contingent upon the throw, but he was running by guys. So if the ball would have been out way in front and he just had to run it down, it's not even close. And to me, that's encouraging to what we're going to be looking to for the season. It's special because he's not just a speedster. We talked about it before. He's not just a track guy. He's a guy who can play football. So when you can play football and you have track speed, special things can happen. I don't know. They call him Waymo. I might have to call him one play touchdown Waymo.
You got to work on your nicknames. Well, I don't know that that's it. We'll come up with some. I'll brainstorm with you and give you some ideas. But I think Jameson Williams just having a hell of a training camp, hell of a preseason. I cannot absolutely wait to see what he does in the regular season when I know the play call is probably really vanilla right now, just getting some basic stuff going. I absolutely can't wait to see some footballs in number one's hands. At number one, maybe it transformed him, Will. Maybe that's all he needed was just to throw on that old school number one like he was wearing at Bama, just to get back to his old JMO roots. Because I know he had some good seasons the last couple of years, but maybe that number one just unlocks something for him. But some positive news we forgot to mention today. Kirby Joseph back at practice, had an interception on CJ Stroud. Good to see. Kirby Joseph is a difference maker. I think our defense is much better with him on the field, obviously, but we play different type of defense when we have a ball hawking safety back there, Will.
JMO's one, or JMO, I've got JMO on my mind. Kirby's one of the best in the league, man, if not the best. And so is Brian Branch, best safety duo in this entire NFL. And these corners are going to get out here and compete, man. I don't know. Do we have the best quarterback or cornerback tandem? If Terrion Arnold comes out and he's as special as these guys are talking about, and we already know what DJ is, this could be a scary secondary for real, especially when you're talking about a Meek at nickel. So maybe we have just the best secondary in the NFL.
We might. We definitely have the best safeties. We damn well might have the best secondary overall in the NFL. Time will tell. I'm not ready to crown us with that just yet, but it definitely has potential. Like, it wouldn't shock me if, halfway through the season, if we're looking at some secondary stats from PFF or whatever other site does all that metrics nonsense, but it would not shock me one single bit. And then what's going to make us better? Let's just roll into Aiden Hutchinson having another day and Tyleik Williams having another day, dominating up front and getting to CJ Stroud and getting some sacks. I know they're wearing the red jerseys, so they're not like real sacks, but it's kind of like, hey, I was here, keep playing your play, keep getting your rep in. But Aiden Hutchinson's just, well, I feel like last year we didn't talk about him at all in the preseason, and that was a good thing. But now he's been so dominant that we have new rules for him in preseason. So you have to mention it. In every practice he's making plays, every joint practice he's making plays. It's just it's time to get 97 unlocked and get him out onto the field. And Tyleik Williams just absolutely bullying some offensive linemen today. Love to see that. His counterpart, him and Hutch just could be an absolute nasty tandem for the next 10 years, William. And Aleem McNeil coming back too.
Yeah, when Aleem comes back, hey, and then they said Alex Anzalone had a great practice today. Steve, maybe it's just a coming out party for this whole defense. Maybe we finally get an opportunity to just have a defense that's a problem, like our offense. We talk about it all the time. Well, I shouldn't say we talk about, but we do talk about it. But Coach Campbell talks about it all the time. He wants to see us play complementary football. Well, how do you complement the number one offense or a top three at a minimum offense in the league? You need to be a top five defense, and maybe we have that this season. I'm not going to sit up here and say that we do without having any regular season games played, but Jared Goff has made some statements about what this defense is, and we talk about how we got a doggone good offense. When they got the opportunity to go get some other guys and some other jerseys, they showed up and showed out, but they have a problem with our defense every single day. I think that's all positive, man. So we will see come week one against those cheeseheads. And hopefully it's a coming out party for this defense, man. That looks like it has the potential to be really special.
William, even just a couple weeks ago, you brought a concern, and it was a valid concern at the time, that maybe our offense is I don't know, like taking a step back because we weren't really seeing as much coming from them out of training camp or any of the beat writers. And we had a conversation, and I told you, William, this defense, the Lions offense is going against the number one defense in the league. So, I mean, there's going to be some bumps in the road. I told you, William, just hold your little horses, eat your birthday cupcakes and just relax. We're going to be the number one defense in the league. We're going to cause some havoc. Jared Goff come out a couple of days ago and said that this communication from the secondary has been absolutely crazy. Like, they're not missing a beat. The handful of blown coverages all training camp, they weren't in a position to capitalize on it. Just players making plays. The pass rush is getting after it. The linebackers are getting after it. Well, this is going to be a top five defense. I have no doubt about it. If Aiden Hutchinson I feel like he's the catalyst for this defense, because you have an easy job if 97's just wrecking quarterbacks. You don't really have to do too much. Just sit there and enjoy the show. But even if he's just creating pressures and forcing quarterbacks to make bad throws, now you got Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph just hawking down some footballs, and Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, DJ Reed just locking down people and putting them on an island. I think 97 is going to be the key to having this number one defense.
Steve, I could talk about this defense all night and what I think that it's going to be, and rainbows and fairy tales. And I think that you're dead on. These are all things that I expect. But I want to talk about the elephant in the room. I want to talk about, if Graham Glasgow misses a substantial amount of time, what does this offensive line look like? Because to me, that's the elephant in the room. If Graham's injury is something that is serious enough for him to miss a little bit of time, I don't even want to mention the other part, man, what it could be. But if it's going to be a little bit of time, as Coach Campbell says, it's going to be a while. If I get one of those tomorrow at the podium from Coach Campbell, even if it was 4 weeks, what does this offensive line look like to you? And do you think that it's time to panic?
No, not panic, but it would not be ideal. Obviously, probably what you're going to do is put Tate Ratledge at center would be my immediate guess. And then who comes in and plays guard? Is it Dan Skipper, who's been getting a lot of reps at tackle, but he's played some guard before? Is it going to be Awasika? Like, I don't know who takes that guard spot. I feel like that might be up for grabs. And do you have a name in mind who that might be?
Honestly, I don't know. I know all of the names. Yeah. But I don't know who immediately steps in and wins that job, man. Is it Nuntai Muntai or Muntai or whatever? Is it that Kingsley Ngwakin is a young guy who's been stepping up, and he's a backup center, but he played a little bit of guard throughout preseason. He's been competing. And then it's all the usuals, the Coyote Awasikas, So there's I honestly don't know. Before, they talked about Gio maybe being athletic enough to play guard. He's not just a bookend tackle. So and then is Miles Frazier back and ready? Because if he's back ready and healthy, that would be who my expectation would be when he gets back. It would be him learning that position and stepping into that role. So Steve, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I would tell you it brings me a level of discomfort, the thought of not having Graham to start the season. If it happened a little bit later and Miles had his sea legs under him, so to speak, then I wouldn't be as worried. But us getting thrust into week one after we just started gelling with the offensive line that we had with Graham Glasgow, making the calls and the checks, and then Tate Ratledge kind of getting comfortable saying, hey, listen, I don't have to roll into this NFL career making all the calls and being the quarterback of the offensive line. I can kind of learn gradually behind Graham while I play guard. Hey, that could have been the rug could have just been pulled right up from under him. He's the guy. So it'll be interesting to see. Or do they just keep Tate at guard and then bring in Kingsley and Ngwakin to play center. I don't know, Steve. It would be interesting. I think it immediately is a conversation that needs to be talked about.
I was literally just about to say there is another option where we just keep Ratledge at guard and move someone into that center spot. If he's playing dominant football, which it sounds like he's doing really, really well for a rookie at guard. I don't want to use dominant, but he's hitting his stride early, I will say, from what I've read, from what I've seen. So maybe they don't want to mess up that mojo and they just bring someone in at center. And again, teams are going to be making some cuts this week. Maybe there's a guy who can come in and, someone else gets cut from, I'll just throw out a team like the Cleveland Browns. Maybe they cut someone who can play guard and center. We swoop him up and, he kind of puts a Band-Aid on it until we can figure out a long-term solution. Maybe Graham comes back. Hopefully that's the case. So, that's definitely maybe the more likely situation is just leaving Tate be where he is and where he's been practicing and moving someone into that center role who's new, and we'll see, because center is a very, very important position too. You're the captain of the offensive line. Like, you're making all the calls, the coverages, you're communicating with the quarterback, making sure you see the same things. So it's probably the second most important position on the offense, I would say, is center. So someone who's coming in and playing that better know what they're doing, because it's very, very crucial, especially with our offensive line and what we have under center and what we want to do in the run game and keeping Jared Goff. Like, center, the whole offensive line is pivotal, but center is literally the center of the offensive line. No pun intended. So that's a more likely situation, I would say, Will. So we'll have to wait and see who gets cut.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm nervous, but I'm not so nervous because I feel like I already know what's going to be said tomorrow in the press conference. And I'm just kind of geared up and already prepared for it, that he's not going to be ready for week one. It's just a matter of when will he be ready? I don't want to use the other word and put bad energy into the world, Will, but you know what I'm saying. So hopefully it's just a little boo-boo. Maybe he just, I don't know, popped his big toe out of joint or something. I don't know, something simple that maybe we're all just overreacting, but we'll find out tomorrow. What else you got for tonight, Will?
That's really it, man. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to get to week one. I told you before, I wanted to wrap everybody in bubble wrap. This is one of the reasons right here. Just get me through preseason without any receiving it. Hey, these guys shouldn't have to worry about getting injured because they shouldn't be playing any football in the preseason game. So just get me to the regular season, man. Get me through the preseason and let some of these young guys compete. The Jacob Saylors of the world, the Broderick Martins of the world. Let those guys get out there and compete for some positions, man. But outside of that, I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm with you. Just throw the 3s and the 4s out there. People who are literally scraping and fighting, and Hendon Hooker, trying to fight for their Detroit Lions and their NFL life. This is a big game. Maybe not as big as some people might think, but these are names that, last year we started getting into that depth problem where, oh yeah, I remember that guy in preseason. I don't want to be in that boat again. I want this team to be as deep as absolute possible. So this is an important game from that aspect. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.